we are one. And believe it or not, I believe that might just be our unofficial theme song of the People's Campaign. We are one. I like the sound of that. But again, I am Clark Williams, and it's just a blessing to be here. It's a blessing to see all of your faces and all of your attentiveness. And this has just been a great day. Let's just show some love for everybody for everything. I want to thank our Finance Committee members. Some of them are here. A few of them are here. Could you just stand if you don't mind, Finance Committee members? Some of them are here. I see some of you. You're looking back at me. Finance Committee members, y'all not going to stand up? There's some others that aren't here today, but let's show those some love that are in the room right now for their ongoing investments. They have made, in many ways, this dream possible of bringing people together to do better, and also changing politics and policy in ways that positively impact people. And also, I want to thank our communications director, Jonah Brown. Let's give it up for Jonah. He's right up here. He does a phenomenal job with our website and with our graphics and our program. And he's a man of many gifts. We have some good stuff at the People's Campaign. We have some good messaging. We do good work, as you've seen, hopefully, here on the screen. But what Jonah does is he puts it all together and polishes it up real good so that people can see it better. And so we just are thankful for you, Jonah, and all the work you do. Certainly we're thankful. Thank you, Naida, for that great introduction. Brother Ricky Jones, where's Brother Ricky? Is he? Thank you, brother. You brought the thunder with you today, my brother. And thank you for confronting us. Notice I didn't say comforting us, but rather confronting us with our reality. And I want to thank all of our caucus leaders and presenters who've shared today. For whether your heart is fixed on healthcare or on business or on what the faith community should be doing or on safe, thriving communities or K-12 education, they have hopefully shown you that there is a place where you can get involved and work and recruit more people. And there's a place where your voice can be amplified in the midst of all of the noise that's designed to drown you out and make you go home and sit down on your couch. There is a place for you to work in the People's Campaign. So please, if you have not done so already, stop by and see them at their tables in the community room. And among them, among those tables in there, you will find a table for the Truth Matters Institute. We did not get into that today, so I'll address it real quick here. The Truth Matters Institute will be headed by Dr. Ike Adams, the retired dean of the UK College of Social Work, as well as by William Wilson. And if you know Bill Wilson, you know he is genuinely, and I'm not saying this facetiously, he is genuinely almost a foremost authority on a whole lot of different things. But in this atmosphere of fake news and alternative facts, they will be compiling information for us and legitimizing it to make sure that it is real, and then they will be condensing it down so that it can be communicated in small doses. In other words, they will be putting it where more people will and can get it. And then they will disseminate it to the caucuses that you're signing up for to make sure that we are always working from a place of truth. Why is it important to work from a place of truth? Because we believe at the People's Campaign still that the truth will set us free. So if you would like to work with them, stop by and see the Truth Matters table as well. But I'm still thanking people. I want to thank all of our presenters. Notice that all of these powerful voices, get this, they're all right here in Kentucky. Let me say that again. All of these powerful voices we have heard from today are all right here in Kentucky. We did not have to fly anybody in. And we may do that at some later date, but that was by design this time because we wanted to show you and show ourselves that we have who and we have what we need right here in this state to make our space a better place. And so I'm excited about that. I want to thank my parents right up here for instilling something in me that makes me want to do this work. And I thank them for their undying support. They have literally supported me in everything that I have ever tried to do. And so I thank them for that. And thank you, Jennifer Lynn Williams. To those of you who don't know, she is my lovely wife. She's sitting right back there on the left. Show her some love. The book of Proverbs says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So I'm just announcing right here, she's my good thing. She has given so much of herself by staying by my side through thick and through thin. And then there is Leela Camille right up there with her grandparents who brings a lot of life and a whole lot of talking to everything that she does. She is really my inspiration in the work that I do. Why? Because I refuse to say to her in a few years, I refuse to say to her, baby, if you want to be successful, then you have to leave Lexington. I'm not going to say that to her. If you want to be successful, you have to leave Kentucky and you have to go to Atlanta. You have to go, somebody's from Atlanta, Dr. Ricky. You have to go, but he's in Louisville though, so you have to go to Charlotte, North Carolina. You have to go to D.C. to be successful. I refuse to say that to her, and I hope some of you refuse to say that to your young people, though I know many of us have heard that over and over and over again. So that means I have 13 more years, she's 5 now, to work with all of you to make it better, because something is wrong when you read the business section on Monday and you see all of the people making quote-unquote power moves. And you know a whole lot of people who have prepared themselves to do those kinds of things, but yet when I look at who's getting the big promotions and who is getting appointed to power places, virtually none of them look like I do in this community. But anyway, I'm not even in my message yet. You get in trouble when you start thanking folks, and I don't want to forget anybody. So again, thank everybody for everything. Thank you, Valeria, for hosting this afternoon. Thank you, Angela, for hosting in the morning. But thank everybody for everything. Some of the people who helped couldn't even be here today, but they have helped make all of this possible. Most of all, I thank God for every one of you and for the privilege of being the chairman of the People's Campaign. The People's Campaign has a potential to do a great thing for people in Lexington and Louisville and all over this state and even beyond, I believe. And from time to time, people ask me, well, what are you running for? You must be running for something. And all that I can say is that I am running, but I'm just running to be your chairman of our People's Campaign. Because even if I were to run and win something else, that would just be one victory. But I want to work with you, all of you, to help a whole lot of good people win, because that truly is what God has called me to do, part of what he's called me to do. But this conference was destined to be here today for at a remembrance service 2 years after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. The Reverend Dr. Gardner C. Taylor of Brooklyn, New York, one of my very favorite preachers, the late Reverend Dr. Gardner C. Taylor, he said at this memorial 2 years after King's death, he said that it would take at least 50 years to begin to see the impact that Martin King's work would have upon America. And I didn't know it at the time that we scheduled this, the Chaos or Community Conference, for August the 12th, but this coming Wednesday, on August the 16th, 50 years will have come and gone since Dr. King asked at a meeting of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, where do we go from here? Chaos or community? So get ready. Let me put you on notice. Get ready for August the 18th of 2018. I think we're on to something. I think we need to come back just more than a year from now. August the 18th, 2018. We'll check all of that out. And we will continue to lift this question, chaos or community, and keep working to provide timely and relevant answers. But whose job is it to help us do justice? And I just transitioned into my message. I won't be long. And so we are the People's Campaign, so let me share a familiar story with you about 4 people. And those four people had some strange names, for their names were everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. And it seems that there was a very important job that had to be done. And everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. And somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought that anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. So it ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. But when societal problems seem too big for us, many are quick to say what? Somebody needs to do something. The idea being that we can select, recruit, or elect somebody who can swoop in and snap their fingers and make all of our problems go away. That is at least part of the reason why the emperor, if you will, who has no clothes on, that goes by the name of Donald, is in the White House. Or well, maybe he's in New Jersey somewhere, but either way, he's being the president right now. But brothers and sisters, we are the somebodies that need to do something. And the flip side of that is that many of us who did not vote for Donald Trump, we got disappointed when our 2016 realities fell so far short of the promise contained in President Obama's lofty 2008 message of hope. But I say again, we are the somebodies that need to do something. And we've already talked about so much chaos, and I talked about some of it this week in the Herald Leader, but here's something else. Something is terribly wrong with a community when a young black girl who may or may not have done anything wrong gets accused of taking a jacket from a cloakroom at a restaurant. And a grown man who manages the restaurant where the alleged activity took place chases the young black girl down and pulls her to the ground and allegedly calls her all kinds of ugly things, but the grown man faces no criminal charges, no criminal consequences, and he even gets to keep his job. Something must be terribly wrong, but I say again, we are the somebodies that need to do something. Something must be terribly wrong when a city and a state that never was a Confederate city in a Confederate state somehow, some 152 years later, still celebrates the Confederate president and the Confederate generals. And when some of us that say something is wrong with that, with placing traitors and racists who lost the Civil War in prominent places of honor, the powers that be say that there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong, rather, other than we just need to educate you on the context of what these statutes really mean. And that tells me that we are the somebodies that need to do something. Something must be terribly wrong when a governor who wants to raise what I call consumer taxes in order to lower income taxes, and then he wants to do either to do away with the expanded Medicaid or put up obstacles to getting the coverage when 400 to 500,000 of his citizens now have health care that never had it before. Our governor and our president, or better yet, the governor and the president, I really don't want to claim either one of them, but they are professionals at practicing what I call Robin Hood in reverse, where they give to the rich by robbing more from the poor. But we are the somebodies that need to do something. And I could go on, but I will say something is terribly wrong because I heard the other day, I found out that the state is mapping out new K-12 education goals. And the targets need to be reached by the year 2030. Not the year 2020, not the year 25, the year 2030. And a discussion right now is on the table in Frankfurt about setting a goal for black students, I believe black males in particular, whereby the goal, which then means if that's the goal, that's the proverbial ceiling, y'all. But the goal, mind you, is only to have 34% of black male students reading and writing and doing math at a level of proficiency. And that goal is for 30 or 13 years from now. And we cannot wait that long just to get 1/3 of our children on track to be college or career ready. Because we know if our kids are not college or career ready, then what are they ready for? So something is terribly wrong, but we are the somebodies that need to do something. And part of that something is marching. Part of that something is protesting. Part of that something is resisting. Part of that something is speaking out. But as former state representative Jesse Crenshaw said, the best way to bring about change is to elect people who already agree with the changes that you want to make. And part of that electing is more than voting. Part of that electing is doing things like what we're doing today, is doing political action to get the best candidate more votes. Because our lives and the lives of our children and the lives of our children's children depend on it. So you should be with us and you should join us today. And I'm almost through, but you should be with us, you should join us today, unless maybe, and I hope this is not the case, but maybe somebody here is kind of like King Hezekiah in the Bible. By all accounts, Hezekiah was a godly king of Judah. He was faithful, the Bible says, to the Lord, and he obeyed the laws of Moses. And Hezekiah was successful in everything that he did, but some of you know this. One day, King Hezekiah got sick. And the word came back from the prophet Isaiah that Hezekiah was about to die. And Hezekiah, it says, turned his face to the wall and he prayed. And the Lord heard him and scripture says gave him 15 more years of life. But then King Hezekiah messed up. The Babylonians came to see him, supposedly to wish him well and to wish him a full recovery. And he showed the Babylonians all of his riches and all of his royal treasure. And Hezekiah, thinking that he'd done nothing wrong, he told Isaiah that he showed the Babylonian envoy everything that he had. And Isaiah said to King Hezekiah, you really ought not to have done that. Because now that you have shown them everything that you've got, the Babylonians will come back one day. And they will carry everything that has been accumulated by all of your ancestors all the way up to now. They will come back and they will carry it all away, Hezekiah. And they will even take your sons and turn them into slaves. Brothers and sisters, I hope that you're not like King Hezekiah, because all that Hezekiah had to say after Isaiah unveiled all of that to him was, well, at least they won't come back until after I'm already dead and gone. But let's not be like King Hezekiah today. Let's come together to do better. Amen. Let's choose community over chaos. Let's change politics and policy to positively impact people. Let's get ready to vote on 11/6/18 for us. Let's fight the good fight for our children and for our grandchildren and for our great-grandchildren. Let's win some elections. You're here today, and that means that you must be at least for us, but we need you to be with us. Again, let's do better together. Please join the People's Campaign. Thank you, and God bless you.